Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Beauty by Nisha. If you're new here, my name is Nisha, and for today's video, it's a little different than my usual beauty content. I'm actually going to be showing you guys what's in my hospital bag for delivery. So if you want to see what I packed this time, and this is my second time, so I learned a lot from the first time. If you want to see, then continue to watch and don't forget to subscribe. So first things first, of what I learned from my first delivery. And so for my first delivery, I ended up having an emergency C-section. So when I packed, I was actually talked a lot to other moms of what they packed and what they felt they did need and what they didn't need. But all of those moms actually had vaginal births. So when I had to have an emergency C-section, I was a little unprepared. I actually didn't pack enough. And there were some things that you don't really think about after having a C-section, that when I was leaving the hospital and even when I got home, I was like, oh my god, like I need all these things that are a little bit more comfortable because I have an incision and I don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. Not only that, but it was also like into the fall, so when we got to the hospital, it was like still pretty warm outside, but then like 2 days later when we left, it was like so cold, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just not ready for this. And the sweatpants I packed and stuff like that, and the shirts and stuff were loose, but they weren't loose enough. So my suggestion is, if it's your first time, to just prepare yourself a little bit for an emergency C-section. It is a scary thought, especially when you go in not thinking that you're going to need one, but you know, they don't know that things are going to happen until you're in labor. And even if it's not your first time, it could be your second, your third time. It can really honestly happen anytime, and they don't really know until you're actually in labor that you might actually need an emergency C-section. The reason why I needed an emergency C-section is because I got to about 5 centimeters dilated. The epidural actually slowed down my labor. And then so they tried to induce me to speed it up again, but my son's heart rate would drop dramatically. And so I was being tossed around and everything, and honestly the doctors and nurses play it so cool. They make you, feel like there's not much to worry about, it's okay. But honestly, like, I'm looking at the screen and I can see that, the heart rate is dropping crazy amounts. And they're like, well, we're going to try a couple things and you might need a C-section. But in my head, I kind of already knew that that's exactly what was going to happen. I was going to need a C-section. And honestly, when it's an emergency C-section, everything happened so fast that I actually didn't even really process it till they were wheeling me into the surgery room. And once we got in there, then I started crying and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, I just haven't even had a second to actually think about it. Like, I'm about to have surgery. But everything went really well. Recovery for myself. I do feel like I have a little bit higher pain tolerance. So for me, when I was healing, it actually just felt like I had worked out my abs like really, really hard. So I wasn't super uncomfortable, but everybody's different. So some people feel more pain, some people feel less. I also just think it depends on the incision in your body and stuff like that too. But yeah, so it was quite the experience. And so about just over a month ago, I was told that I was a perfect candidate for a VBAC, a vaginal birth after C-section. And so I was really excited and I said, okay, I'm going to try it because I want the experience. I don't want to have another C-section because, one, the recovery is a little bit longer, as well as I do have to stay in the hospital a bit longer, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time away from my son. But about 2 weeks ago, it turns out that our baby girl has decided to stay in breech and doesn't want to flip and go head down. So we are scheduled for a C-section today. I'm filming this video today, July 27th, and I'm actually going to be in for a C-section on July 28th. So by the time I post this video, edit it and everything, she will be here. So some of the things that I packed and some things that I bought were actually for vaginal delivery. But there's some things in it that I can actually just use myself still afterwards, just for comfort wise, based off of my previous experience. So I'm still going to share those things with you just because I feel like, it could give you some good, good stuff to have on hand, and it's very helpful. So I'll tell you guys what I packed in my hospital bag, and I did also get something that is a little, this is mainly what I got for the vaginal delivery because I was really excited. I was like, okay, I'm gonna test out these products and we'll see how it goes, but you know, considering the circumstances, it's just not, I'm not gonna use everything in this package, so I'll show you. In Canada, this is honestly kind of pricey. And I bought it on Amazon and it was really hard to find, honestly. It was like almost $200 for this whole kit. And this is what I mean when I was dedicated to have a vaginal birth this time. But, you know, it just didn't happen. But there's some things in here that I think I can give away to somebody who maybe is going to or is more likely going to. And then we can just kind of pass it on if somebody doesn't. But I got the Freedom Mom Labor and Delivery Postpartum Recovery Kit. So this kit literally comes with like everything Freedom Mom postpartum. The only thing is it's for vaginal delivery. So there's a couple things that you can get outside of this package for vaginal delivery that you can actually get for C-section. The only thing that I ordered separately, and I just ordered it, was the actual like disposable underwear. You can actually get ones that are high-waisted for C-section. So I ordered those. It comes in an 8-pack and it was like $24.99 Canadian on Amazon. It's one-day delivery, so it'll be here tomorrow, but I'll just get my husband to pick it up and bring it back to the hospital for me. I'm still gonna try out these ones just because they are supposed to be pretty loose-fitted, which is mainly what you want if you do end up having a C-section. So that's just one thing to be mindful of, is make sure you have if it's in the summertime or spring and it's a little warm out, maybe just pack a dress or like skirt or something that is very, very loose fitted in that area, so that this way you're not putting any pressure on that area, especially if you do end up having a C-section, just in case. Just because it can be very uncomfortable if there's too much pressure, and then sometimes when you put things too high up to not put it on your incision, it like pushes down on like your tummy, and honestly your tummy still like is like still like kind of bloated, I guess, and there's still honestly stuff that comes out of you, if you know what I mean. So that's why I would just suggest that, just because it does just give you a little bit more comfort. But definitely, like, I loved like the hospital disposable underwear, but they only give you so many, and I couldn't find anything that worked exactly like that. So I'm gonna give these a try. I'm gonna give these underwear a try, and I'm gonna have the C-section ones as well. This one actually only comes with 4 pairs, which with C-section I'm probably gonna want a little bit more than 4 pairs. So the one that I ordered for C-section, I believe, comes with 8 pairs. So I'm gonna have tons, especially during recovery, so I can be comfortable. Because honestly, I don't even care about the underwear. I just want to be comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I just literally want to be comfortable in my recovery. So before I jump into the Freedom Mom postpartum kit and kind of open up and show you guys, I will just give you guys a quick rundown of the things that I packed in my actual hospital bag. So in my hospital bag, first things first, yes, of course, I've already gone over this with you guys. Just make sure you pack for comfort. Make sure you have loose fitted clothing, especially if you do end up needing an emergency C-section. You will not regret it. You will be way more comfortable actually leaving the hospital. I packed a robe because sometimes I do find that the hospital can get a little chilly. And then I also packed like slippers and really loose fitted socks. One thing I did notice when I left the hospital is my feet were actually very like bloated, which is normal to happen to you sometimes after having a surgery or even after labor. Your feet might be kind of like retaining water. So I tried to pack shoes or like slides or flip-flops or something that do expand a little bit with my foot, so that this way when I'm leaving the hospital and I have to walk around, or if I do need to walk around the hospital and stuff like that, I have a comfortable shoe just in case my feet do swell up again. That being said, if your feet are really, really swelling up, make sure you kick your feet up and you relax, because you don't want to be on your feet too much, but you do have to be on your feet to have blood flow. So you gotta find a perfect balance, but your doctor and everything will go over that with you. So, and then, so comfortable clothes, a robe, slippers, comfortable socks. I personally like socks that have like a bit of a grip on them so that this way it's a little bit more comfortable. Flip-flops are also good because sometimes when you have to have a shower, I personally don't go in with bare feet because I think it's kind of gross. So I still wear my flip-flops in the shower. So you can bring like separate ones. You can bring ones that are like clean for the shower and then ones that you would just wear when you leave. And just like maybe because normally when you do have vaginal birth, sometimes they only keep you for like 24 hours. But if you have a C-section, the minimum is actually 48 hours. It could be longer. So pack a couple of extra pairs of clothes for yourself and your partner, just so that you're ready if you do need to stay a little bit longer. Also, not only that, but when you first start nursing, if you do decide to nurse, you're not really used to it. And honestly, I felt like I had milk stains like on everything. So now that I know for the second time around, I'm going to be way better prepared in terms of when I start to leak and stuff like that. But I honestly had no idea what to expect the first time. This time I have a lot more knowledge, and I know that, you know, I'm going to wear a nursing bra, I'm going to have nursing pads, and I'm definitely going to put on the nipple cream to prevent any dryness and cracking. I didn't use it religiously like I should have when I first started nursing in the hospital, whereas this time I'm like, oh no, I'm lathering that stuff on, because in the beginning it could be quite painful. Although I'm not really sure how it's going to be because this is my second time around, if I'm going to be used to it again or not. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually kind of curious of how that works. So yes, if you do plan on nursing, make sure you pack nursing bras, maybe just a couple, just because you do get a little leaky, and then nursing pads. In the beginning, replace them often because I find that you leak a lot more. So maybe bring like, you could bring a whole box if you really wanted to, but maybe bring plan for like 4 to 5 pairs a day, if not more, just in case, especially if it's your first time, you might be a lot more leaky, but you might not. I just packed what I felt I would need. Hopefully I'm not as leaky this time. I have no idea how this is going to work, but we'll see what happens. And then just make sure, yes, nipple cream, because you will not regret it. Most hospitals require you to pack extra newborn diapers. I basically just went and bought a pack of Huggies newborn diapers, like the little packages, and I just basically pop that into the bag because I'm just going to use that when we're there. Just because newborns can honestly use up a lot of diapers. So this way I'm prepared, and also just makes it easier for the nurses. I bring a little outfit for going home. This time I'm just gonna bring a full onesie just because it's just easier. And honestly, like I said last time I left, and it was cold, and I don't know what to expect because where I live, it's kind of like hit and miss. Is it cold? It might say it's gonna be warm, but it might be a little chillier outside. We have AC in the car, so if it is a little warmer, we can at least turn that on a little bit to cool it down if we need to. Obviously, you need your infant car seat, of course. I have a little blanket as well, just in case it is cold. I really don't think it's going to be, so I probably won't need to use it, but I did just bring a little blanket. I gave myself some extra, an extra swaddle blanket, just in case, for some reason, say nursing doesn't go the way I expect, and I need to use formula, which they provide at the hospital. Sometimes it can cause a little bit more spitting up, so this way I have a little bit of extra clothing for the baby, and as well as an extra swaddle blanket, just in case things kind of get some stuff on them, especially because I know I'm going to be there for 48 hours at least. So it just makes it a little bit easier for myself, not having to worry about my baby being in soiled clothes or needing the nurses and stuff to give me more stuff. So that's pretty much my essentials, I would say, that I need. And then you have your toiletries. So if you wear contact lenses, don't forget your, canisters and your contact solution and all that kind of stuff. Glasses if you need them, toothbrush, floss, toothpaste, just all those extra essentials. I was debating on bringing some skincare, but I just don't feel like I'm going to do skincare when I'm there. If you feel like you're gonna do it, you should do it. And I've been really good with my skincare routine, so I'm a little do I mess it up for the 2 days and just not do it? But I'm oh, I don't know. I don't want to come back home and be help me, my skin is just so bad. So I might pack a couple things like a cleanser, an SPF, and just like the basic stuff that I'm okay to just put on every day. I might not bring like a bunch of serums and stuff and have like a whole routine with me, but I will bring a couple things that, you know, I feel like I need. Hairbrush, of course. I bring extra hair ties, just because the last thing you want is your hair tie to break and then you're like, I have no hair ties. I mean, worst case scenario, my husband could just come home and grab me some more, but no, I'm just gonna bring extra just in case. I brought like a hair clip just in case I just want to throw it up and clip it. So I wouldn't say that I like feel like I need to overpack. You can pack a blanket and a pillow. It really depends on the hospital as well. But honestly, those types of things I would just leave in the car. That's mainly for your partner because they're going to be staying the night with you most likely, or hopefully. But if you have multiple kids, it potentially won't be like that. They're going to be going home. It really just depends on how things go for you. But if you think that your partner's going to be staying the night with you, then make sure they have a pillow and a blanket. I'm going to leave that stuff in the car, and then my husband could go grab it in the evening, just so we're not trying to haul everything in at once. And honestly, my husband is going to be coming and going once I am able to get out of bed and move around, just because, you know, I have my son at home and he's going to check in on him and make sure, you know, that he's good to go. He is going to be with his grandparents, so it'll be okay, but still, you know, it puts me at ease too, knowing that one of us is able to go and check in on him and stuff. But let's get into the Freedom Mom kit, just because it's the first time that I'm opening it up and actually taking a look at it, and we'll kind of go over some of the things that are in it. A couple of things are super popular that a lot of women are like, this is the best, you want it, it's so good for recovery. So let's dive in and take a look. Okay, so it comes in this big box, and this is like the full postpartum kit. So this is the most expensive kit that you can buy. I know, I'm crazy. Like, why would I need all of this? But I really honestly thought that I was going to have a vaginal delivery, and I was actually kind of looking forward to like reviewing it and telling you guys what's worth it and what's not. So I can kind of tell you like for like C-section wise, but for vaginal delivery, unfortunately I won't be able to tell you what is actually worth it and what is not. But I will share what I use out of this and how I feel like it helped me postpartum when I do, you know, actually use it and when I'm home and recovering. So I will go over quickly like what is in it. So it comes with like a little card that kind of tells you everything that's in it as well. You have the Peri bottle, which is a very popular item. And then it has like obviously the disposable underwear. It has 4 pairs in there. It has the Instant Ice maxi pads. It has the perineal cooling pad liners as well. They're medicated with witch hazel. And then it has the perineal healing foam, which is medicated with witch hazel as well. And it just sits on top of the pad. Honestly, this whole box is really cool. It's got like everything, and it has this like little box here. So this is the gown and the socks. I looked up reviews of the gown, and some people said it was like really awesome and they were really glad they got it because it was actually really comfortable and good quality, and that they actually continued using it even after delivery because it was so easy to nurse and stuff. So far the socks feel like pretty good quality. They're pretty thick actually, which is kind of nice because my feet do get cold really easily. So these are like the little socks, and then they have the grips and stuff. So I might not need to pack too many of my own. I probably just wear these ones. Honestly, just feeling the gown itself, like first like impression, it just feels like really nice quality. Like when I was looking at it on the website and like on Amazon, it looks like it's kind of like a cheap quality. But no, this actually feels really nice. And then it comes with like a whole caddy that you can like put on your bathroom counter for yourself, like while you are in recovery, which is pretty cool. The handle is like plastic, but honestly the rest of it is cardboard. Like you probably wouldn't keep this for too long, and if there's any condensation that gets on it, it's probably not gonna hold up very good. I thought it was like an actual like caddy, like would be full plastic, but it's not, so that's one thing. And then it has your like little kit for the hospital, which is pretty cool. It's pretty big too. I like it because you can actually add some other stuff in there if you need to. It's got like a pocket on the back too. This is pretty cool. I would like definitely like reuse this too. And then so in the kit you have, you have the perineal healing foam. It's a pretty big size bottle. It's not bad at all. And then you have the cooling pad liners with the witch hazel. It comes with 24 pad liners, which is pretty good. And this is, of course, I'm gonna say the Peri bottle. It's actually a pretty good size. I thought it was small. I don't know why it looks so much smaller in photos and stuff, but it's actually a pretty good size, and it's like easy to push on. So if you have water in there, you're not gonna have to be like squeezing really hard. It's just gonna be like. And then we have the boy short briefs, which I'm actually just gonna open up now. Okay, so I'm just gonna take out one pair for now. They feel like better quality than the ones you get at the hospital, so that's a bonus. Oh, these are like actually pretty big. I mean, they're one size like fits all, but you can get them for petite if you are like on the smaller size. But these are just the regular size. So these look actually really perfect, honestly. And the quality is actually obviously better than the ones that you get at the hospital. They're like actually like good quality. Okay. And yeah, they seem like kind of high-waisted and then loose fitting, but they look like they will not fall down. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. So these would actually, I personally think like for myself, these would actually work for C-section for me as well. So I'll use these first and then I'll use the C-section ones. I'm curious what if I'll notice a difference, but these actually will work, I think, perfectly fine. Then in the caddy, what else we have is we have instant cold therapy plus absorbent pad in one. Basically a double date over your vagina. Okay, so these are the instant ice maxi pads. So it looks like what you would do is you actually don't have to put them in the freezer. It just says, so while the pad is still in the sleeve, fold it in half like top to bottom until you hear a popping sound, and then shake slightly to commence cooling. So that's pretty cool that you don't actually have to put these in the freezer, because I was like, well, how are you going to do that when you're in the hospital if you want to use them? But yeah, you actually don't have to put them in the freezer. They just cool on their own. So that's pretty cool. But that is it in the kit there for the postpartum delivery. It's quite a lot of stuff for what you get in terms of like price and comparison and stuff like that. So it's actually not bad. But then again, you might not even need all of these things. So that's why I was pretty curious to give it a try to like give you guys a full review. But I'll still let you know what I actually use out of the kit for myself for C-section. Some things I already know I'm going to use, which is the Peri bottle, and then the boy shorts, the delivery gown, and then the socks as well. Everything else I'm a little like not sure if I'm going to use it or I'm going to need it. But other than that, there's not too much else that I would put in my hospital bag. This is obviously a little bit more excessive. Like this is probably not normally what someone would put in their bag, but of course I wanted to try some new things and see if there's things that can actually help you in your recovery and help you feel better faster, make you a little more comfortable if you can, because postpartum delivery, the 4th trimester, can be quite gnarly, I would say, quite painful. So there you have it. There is my what's in my hospital bag for second time around here and preparing for a C-section YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you find some things that maybe you didn't think about, or just helps you prepare and feel a little bit more comfortable when you are going into labor, and just gives you a little bit more ease, hopefully, fingers crossed. But if you have any further like suggestions for myself or for anybody else watching this video, or you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment down below. You can also DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about labor and delivery that maybe I didn't address here, or maybe I would be able to shed some light or make you feel a little bit more comfortable or at ease. for labor and delivery if you do end up having a C-section or if you're worried about it. I am totally happy to answer any questions that I actually have the knowledge for. I am not a doctor, so if you are concerned about medical stuff, please make sure you reach out to your doctor. They will be able to tell you those things, not me. I am not a professional. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful for you in the future, whether it's your first baby, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, whatever. Hopefully it helps you just a little bit on preparing and kind of like what to expect when you get to the hospital and what you might need. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.